Hello, it is February the 16th, 2022. This is Randall Burns, your host for As the World Burns. Now, today's topic is a classic self-help book, Prosperity Through Thought Force. And it's one of the, by Bruce MacLelland. And it's one of the of only a couple books on material prosperity in the New Thought movement that I've seen that preceded Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. There were other, books outside of that movement that are, like say Ben Franklin wrote one. There are a lot of people that wrote books on that topic. But the thing is that there was a flurry of influence in this one into the mainstream culture that came from the New Thought movement. And part of why I want to discuss these books is it gives you the background for things like The Intelligent Investor, the traditions and sometimes superstitions that preceded that. And I'm not going to say that this is all superstition or not, but I'm just trying to give you kind of the background of what people were doing on this one. Now, this has become pretty mainstream in the areas of self-promotion and sales. When you go into that literature, there are a lot of ideas from New Thought that made their way into that and became kind of mainstream in that area. And that area has not gotten systematized yet, okay? But this book was published in Nautilus, which again was kind of a umbrella publication for the New Thought movement. Now, whereas Wattles was based in Hegel and Emerson, I think this was largely influenced by Quimby. Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, who was an early hypnotist in the United States, and was not really a scientific figure, but is, if you could take a course in hypnotism at Harvard Medical School, they will cite Quimby as one of the very early practitioners, along with Mesmer in France, when this stuff was first emerging onto the scene. And that seems to be his influence. He makes reference to autosuggestion, which is Quimby. Now, he also espouses the law of attraction fairly early on, although the earliest reference that I've heard of was by Helena Blavetsky, founder of theosophy. So that indicates something of an influence of theosophy into this in the New Thought movement. Now, it is worth noting that Wattles was very skeptical of the theosophy influence and was, trying to steer away from that. He regarded, I think, Helena Blavetsky as a woman with mental health issues, and he's not alone in that one. So, but the phrase in MacLelland's book is, "You are what you think, not what you think you are," and that does get into the whole law of attraction thing. And my own comment on the autosuggestion is that this is, potentially a very powerful method. I think that the methods that Wattles makes are less prone to mistakes and errors. And I tend to personally see the subconscious as kind of like a computer, and as someone that's worked in the software industry and done software development, you have to watch out for bugs, and you have to have a quality review process and bug removal process if you want your programs to work as intended. You just have to. And that seems to be missing from MacLelland's work. Okay. Now, on the other hand, I think he's utterly truthful and sincere in that he did have unexpected material success by using these methods. I don't think that he's exaggerating or lying, and I think he did have good luck. I don't think he's thought through the issue of consistency and intentionality on this one, and dealing with people that may not have an excess of common sense. I mean, he's sort of assuming common sense on the part of the reader. I think that Wattles does less of that. I think he assumes that people are going to be error prone. So I think there's something there, right? It's not to me a clear win. It's also not clear to me how MacLelland was trying to really work within the science of his day or dovetails into the science of today. There's been a lot of other books on autosuggestion since then. I have not reviewed that and seen how they can work for investors and forecasters yet. But this does give us some background, sort of going into the business community that some of these classic books like The Intelligent Investor were coming into. And there are parts in The Intelligent Investor that get into kind of not just traditional business, but more into this motivational and sales literature also. So, because a lot of it is about being able to stay the course in difficult times, and that gets into the motivational issue and keeping yourself prepared for a marathon, okay? And that is something that this book, does go into a bit, the need for patience, that it took him, quite a while before he actually started to get results. I thought the style was a little bit downbeat. It wasn't quite as unabashedly optimistic as what I saw Wattles as being. It also didn't have problems like with the head in the sand version of optimism that I saw as a problem with Wattles. But it is worth just noting that this exists. I'm not recommending it. I read it for historical reasons. I wanted to see just what predated Wattles in the publication that he was writing with, like how the people of that magazine might have viewed what he had to say. And I don't regret having listened to the book. And so this is Randall Burns signing off. Please do hit the like button. Please subscribe. Suggestions for future episodes are very welcome. I have started doing those as they come in. And I will be trying to get back to my more traditional news analysis and statistical analysis of investing at some point. But I did want some background material for some of the more classic books that we cited. And look forward to hearing from you folks. Again, comments are very welcome. I try to respond to every comment here. I may not always be able to do that if the channel takes off, but for now I can. So Randall Burns, this is a labor of love, both for my family and for you folks. Signing off. I look forward to hearing from you folks. Bye.